Good morning, everyone. My respected teachers and my senior and junior colleague. I am Dr. Anjan Mukherjee, second year PGT, Department of Physiology, Bardwan Medical College and Hospital, going to present my topic. My topic of discussion is heart failure. Now, what is heart failure? Heart failure occurs when the heart is unable to put out an amount of blood that is adequate for the need of the tissues, caused by decreased contractility of the myocardium resulting from decreased coronary blood flow. Heart failure can also be caused by damaged heart valves, external pressure around the heart, vitamin B deficiency, primary cardiac muscle diseases, and other factors making heart an hypoeffective pump. Heart failure can be classified as systolic heart failure and diastolic heart failure. Systolic heart failure. A heart failure where heart has difficulty in pumping out blood. The prime defect is decreased cardiac contractility. Weakened cardiac muscle contract less effectively, causing decreased ejection fraction. Either one or both ventricles may progressively weaken and fail. The common causes are damage to heart muscle as a result of heart attack or impaired circulation to the heart muscle, prolonged pumping against chronically increased afterload as in hypertension or stenotic semilunar valve. Systolic heart failure. The intrinsic ability of the heart to develop pressure and eject stroke volume is decreased. Heart operates on a lower length tension curve. Frank Starling curve shift downwards and to the right for a given end diastolic volume. A failing heart pumps out a smaller stroke volume than a healthy heart does. Now look at the picture. There are two cardiac curves. Green one for normal heart and red one for failing heart. Acute effects of moderate cardiac failure. First, look at the picture. There are four different cardiac curves. A denotes the normal heart, B denotes the actually damaged heart, C denotes the damaged heart with sympathetic stimulation, and D partially recovered heart. The red curve is a normal cardiac curve and A is the normal operating point at 5 liter per minute cardiac output at 0 millimeter of mercury of arterial pressure. Immediately after the heart is damaged, cardiac output falls to 2 liter per minute and right arterial pressure increasing 4 millimeter of mercury due to damming up of blood shown in blue curve. This is sufficient to sustain life for few hours but is associated with fainting. Sympathetic reflex occurs almost immediately and compensate to a greater extent the damaged heart, that is green line. Sympathetic response to cardiac failure. When the cardiac output is very low, circulatory reflex like baroreceptor reflex, chemoreceptor reflex, CNS ischemic responses contribute to activate the sympathetic system. Sympathetic system strengthen the damaged but functional and normal but non-functional cardiac musculature. Sympathetic system increase venous return by increased tone of the blood vessel and increasing right atrial pressure. See in the green line curve, that is in that curve. The sympathetic reflex become maximally developed in 30 seconds. Later, there is retention of fluid by kidneys and varying degree of recovery of the heart. Compensatory measures for systolic heart failure. In the early stage, two major compensatory measures help restore stroke volume to normal. First, sympathetic activity of the heart is reflexively increased, which increase heart contractility to normal. This compensation is effective for a limited time as heart become less responsive after prolonged exposure and non-epinephrine store is depleted. Here we see three different curves. Green one for the normal heart, blue one for the failing heart with sympathetic stimulation, and red one for failing heart without sympathetic stimulation. And second, when the decreased cardiac output, kidney tries to compensate by trying to retain salt and water in urine to increase blood volume. That causes increased end diastolic volume. Again, it causes stretching of the heart, enable weakened heart to pump out normal stroke volume. The heart pumps out blood return to it in diastole at a greater cardiac fiber length. Fluid retention in heart failure. Decreased cardiac output compromises renal function, causing anuria when cardiac output falls to 50 to 60% of normal. A moderate increase in body fluid and blood volume help compensate decreased pumping ability of the heart by increasing venous return. Increased venous return can often compensate of heart's pumping ability. When heart's pumping ability decreases further, blood flows to the kidney becomes low to excrete enough salt and water to equal the intake. Fluid retention begins and continues indefinitely since the heart is already pumping at its maximum pumping capacity. The excess fluid no longer has a beneficial effect on circulation. Fluid retention increased workload on already damaged heart and severe edema results. Myocardial recovery and detrimental effect of excess fluid retention. In myocardial recovery, new collateral blood supply develop in peripheral part of infracted area of heart, often causing heart muscle in fringe area to be functional again. Undamaged portion of the heart muscle hypertrophies, offsetting some of cardiac damage. And fluid retention leads to increased workload on damaged heart, overstretching of heart, weaken it further, filtration of fluid in lung causes pulmonary edema that causes deoxygenation of blood and development of excessive edema in most part of body. Cardiac output curve after partial recovery. Following myocardial infarction, the heart achieved most of its final state of recovery within 5 to 7 weeks. Increased fluid retention causing increased venous return, causing increased right atrial pressure, state of circulation change from C to D with cardiac output of 5 liters per minute and right atrial pressure 6 millimeter of mercury. In the picture, we see the point C and the point D. No further fluid retention occurs and has normal hemodynamic at rest. Sympathetic stimulation gradually ablates tachycardia, cold skin and pallor gradually disappears. In compensated failure, heavy exercise results in return of symptom as heart is unable to increase its pumping capacity any further, causing decreased cardiac reserve. In compensated heart failure, cardiac output can be maintained but with raised right atrial pressure. Decompensated systolic heart failure. With progression of the disease, heart contractility deteriorates further. Heart cannot no longer pump out normal stroke volume despite compensatory measures. Cardiac muscle fiber are stretched to the point where they are operating in descending limb of length tension curve. Forward failure occurs as heart fails to pump an adequate amount of blood forwarded to the tissue as stroke volume becomes progressively smaller. Backward failure occurs simultaneously as the failing heart cannot pump out all of the blood returned to it as returning blood continue to damp up in the venous system. Decompensated systolic heart failure. Look at the picture. There are 6 points, point A, B, C, D, E, F, which are discussed in the later on in this slide. Here we see A point is before any compensation. B is the after sympathetic stimulation but prior to fluid retention. Cardiac output has raised to 4 liters per minute and right arterial pressure 5 mm of mercury. Cardiac output is now decreased for fluid excretion. Cardiac output less than 5 liters per minute is insufficient for fluid excretion by kidney, causing retention and increased right atrial pressure. The right atrial pressure rises progressively through C and D, but cardiac output fails to attain 5 liters per minute level and unable to attain normal fluid balance. After another few days of fluid retention, right atrial pressure rises further, but cardiac output starts to fall due to overstretching of heart, edema of the cardiac muscle. Since the cardiac output is insufficient for normal renal function, much edema which accelerated due to decreased cardiac output. F point denotes cardiac output of 2.5 liters per minute and right atrial pressure of 16 mm of mercury, irreversible state incompatible with life, causing decompensated heart failure. Decompensated systolic heart failure. Congestive heart failure is due to congestion of the blood in the venous system behind a failing ventricle. Left-sided failure has more serious consequence than right-sided failure. Backward failure of left ventricle leads to pulmonary edema as the blood damp up in the lung. The pulmonary edema leads to decreased arterial oxygenation and increased acid forming CO2 in the blood, decreased stroke volume causing kidney function derange, and increased retention of water and salt causing increased venous return. Treatment. Number 1, measurement of decreased salt and water retention and increased urinary output, and the drugs that causing increased contractility of the weakened heart such as digitalis. Diastolic heart failure. The ventricle fails to fill normally either because the heart muscle fails to relax adequately between beats or because it stiffens and cannot expand as much as usual. The pumping ability of the heart and the ejection fraction is normal. Though the ejection fraction is normal, stroke volume is decreased as the ventricle are being inadequately being filled in diastole. Symptoms are similar to systolic failure, both forwarded and backwarded failure into the congestive heart failure can result. Diastolic heart failure. Abnormal ventricular relaxation and stiffness in diastolic heart failure result from excess collagen deposition in ventricular muscles extracellular matrix, increased passive tension in tighten the elastic protein of striated muscle, increased resting cardiac muscle tension caused by slow or incomplete removal of cytosolic calcium following action potential. Cardiac reserve. What is cardiac reserve? The maximum percentage that the cardiac output can increase above normal is cardiac reserve. During severe exercise, the cardiac output of an healthy young adult can rise to about 5 times the normal. The cardiac reserve is 400%, 4 times above normal. Any factor that prevent the heart to pump blood satisfactorily will decrease cardiac reserve that seen in ischemic heart disease, primarily myocardial disease, vitamin deficiency, etc. In this figure, I just highlight that cardiac reserve in different condition, but two conditions showing less than zero reserve, and they are severe coronary thrombosis and severe valvular disease. Thank you.